this session's put on by the National Suppliers Council. Today we've got myself, Jeff Smedley. I am the 2018 Chairman of the Board for the National Suppliers Council. And presenting here in a moment will be Kirk Downey, also of the National Suppliers Council. And just real quick before we get started, our contact information is on the screen. Should you need to contact either one of us prior to the meeting or at any time, please feel free to do so. We are here to help our NSC partners and our suppliers in any way that we can. Before we start the session, last year we had an opportunity to really define our mission statement at NSC as a leading supplier group within the industry, and I wanted just to read that real quick, and then after that I'll turn it over to Kirk Downey to get started on today's session. So the NSC mission statement is, in partnership with the National Apartment Association, we are the voice of all of the apartment industry suppliers, providing access to business opportunities, education, and advocacy for our members. With that, Kirk, I'm going to go ahead and flip on to the next slide, and I'll let you take it from there.
Apologize for that, guys. I'm sitting here and I had a phone call come in. So welcome, everyone. My name is Kirk Downey. I am with a company called Etiquette, and I'm also your sit on the National Suppliers Council Executive Committee as your membership chair. It is my honor to be able to go through this Apartmentalize webinar with you. This is really set up for people's first time, but it's also for veterans. If you've never been to San Diego, we're going to kind of talk a little bit about that. We're going to talk about some new things that are going on inside of the NSC that will be available to you while we're in San Diego. One thing I will point out is the word apartmentalize is new. Which started last year in Atlanta for the first time. It has now become the name of this particular conference. Very cool for NAA to come up with these very cool names. So going forward, we call this Apartmentalize. Next slide. If you've never been to San Diego, you're in for a treat. Where we are located, this convention center is absolutely amazing. Sitting right on the water. You're also going to be near the Gas Lamp District, which is one of those very cool places to go. You're also going to deal with that wonderful San Diego weather. If you'll see on the screen, you'll see the committee meetings, which are very, very important, are on the 11th through the 13th. The actual Apartmentalize trade show is June 13th through the 16th. And like I said, all in lovely downtown San Diego. What to expect? The Apartmentalize is our national education conference. There's going to be a lot of education professionals talking about all different job functions within the rental housing industry. In addition to these great sessions, we're going to have a lot of great speakers, game changers, which we're going to go over here with you shortly. And you're going to have a great experience if this is your first time or if you've been here many times. Another thing we want to talk about is the NAA PAC and the BGF silent auction. PAC is the Political Action Committee, and the BGF is the Better Government Fund. What these funds are used for is to work with our legislators, state, local, and national, to make sure that we are getting things done that we need to help our industry. So this money is crucial. If you're not a person that gives to the PAC on a regular basis, feel free to email me or Jeff, and we will help you get connected. All your help is much appreciated. But this silent auction is also very cool. There's going to be a lot of great items up there. We started this a couple of years ago, and the people really have a lot of fun with it. So you're going to get to buy some really great things, and it's going to go to our NAA PAC fund. This was very important, the NAA app. If you don't have it, I would suggest making a note right now as soon as we hang up to download that app. You will be amazed all of the information that you're going to get through this app when you're at the event. You'll know everything that's going on at all times, no carrying the paper around anymore. You'll know everything that's going on. The only advice I will give you is to make sure that you know where the charging stations are. So, because anytime you have an app running like this, it will drain your battery. So my advice is to either carry something with you to charge or know where the charging stations are that will probably be sponsored by one of our fellow suppliers. Next is the NAA Social Hub. This is a very cool resource center that you might want to check out while you're there. Kind of let you know things that are going on, kind of the 411 of what's going on at this event. So when you get there, be sure to follow that. Also be sure to follow Twitter and Facebook and see what's going on with the NAA at this event. And while you're there, be sure to hashtag and @ as many things as you can on the social media. It's all appreciated. And if you are a supplier, anytime you do things like that, you're always going to get in front of those people that you want to get in front of by them watching your social media. A couple of really cool things. Mike Rowe, I'm sure many of you know the show Dirty Jobs that he did. You also see him on a lot of commercials. Mike Rowe is going to be one of our general session speakers on Thursday. Then on Friday, we have Alex Rodriguez, who is with the New York Yankees. Go Yankees. He is going to be one of our speakers. Excited to have him there. And then last but not least, on Saturday, Shabnam Mohabare. I had to Google that today to make sure I pronounced that correctly. If you haven't, I would suggest going on and looking her up and watching some of her videos. It is amazing. And to be honest with you, I wasn't really familiar until today. And I can tell you that I will be in that session on Saturday. I'm very excited to hear what she's got to say. Here's the schedule for the week. A lot of people come in early. I myself will be there on Monday. There's a lot of things going on Tuesday and Wednesday. That's going to be a great time for you to go in and go ahead and getting your booths together. But there's also great times to go to educational classes, committee meetings. As a supplier, I suggest to look at that schedule and be there for those things. And then also getting ready for Thursday and Friday, where we're all going to be on the trade show floor doing what we're there for, branding and getting some business. This is who you've got coming to this event. Fee managers, owner managers, regional executives, all in leadership positions, and then those super regionals and national supplier companies. So this kind of gets you an idea of who's going to be there. If you are a National Supplier Council member on this call, you should have received the list of the attendees. I suggest to take advantage of that list, but I also suggest to be careful with that list. I don't think that our fellow property management group like mass emails. I think you need to be a little bit more particular than that and find those specific people that you need to speak to and send them an email or an invite that would get them to want to meet with you. Mass emails, just my opinion, don't necessarily work. The NAA website, if you've never been to naahq.org /APT, I would suggest to do that. This is going to give you a little bit more insight of everything that's going on, the resource center. It's going to also have the dashboard for the exhibitors. If you have not had the opportunity to do that, whether this was done by your marketing team or not, you as a person of your company that's going to be representing your company at this event, always best to go in as prepared as you can be. I would suggest checking that out. Great educational opportunities. This is something that I know Jeff's very proud of as our chairman. He had a lot to do with putting all this together. Our NAA National Suppliers Council meeting is on Tuesday. Please come to that event. It is an hour-and-a-half long meeting with all of your NSC members sitting in the room. If you're not an NSC member and you're on this call, you are more than welcome to come. We would like for you to be there to see why the NSC is what it is and why you would want to be a member, so it is open to everyone. The next few are for suppliers only that are part of the NSC. You've got Wednesday, Supplier Success. This is a great class, by the way. If anyone's wanting to get their CAS, this is how you do that. You have to go through Supplier Success. It is a prerequisite. It's great that it's being offered at NAA. You can go online and register to attend this class. If you have not done this, I would suggest it is a day course, but it is going to be very beneficial for you. On Thursday are the 2 courses or 3 courses that I'm really looking forward to. The first one is how to leverage relationships while maintaining the proper sales etiquette. The reason I'm looking forward to this, and I'm the lucky guy that gets to moderate this class with 3 incredible panelists, 2 suppliers and 1 from property management. We're going to have Charles Stroud. We're also going to have Nathan Burnett, who are suppliers, and then Jeanette Cox from Odo Development. It's an incredible group. We had a call yesterday. I can tell you, please attend that class. I think you'll be very pleased with what you're going to get out of that group. Then after that class, we've got the Body Language Confidential. This one's going to be a great one. This is going to be our guest speaker coming in. Her name is Tracy Brown. She is a body language expert. I think going into the first class and then going into the body language is going to be very beneficial with what we're going to talk about. And then the next is how to read people through body language and how to increase your percentage to close deals is going to be very good. Then following up after that, you'll go into the Solution Incubator, which is going to be led by our chairman, Jeff Smedley. Another great opportunity to really have your fellow suppliers sitting in a room talking about different issues going on inside of the industry. And we as a group are going to talk about those and come up with solutions to help everyone. A great, great incubator opportunity to sit down with the rest of your team and also with fellow suppliers who are dealing with the same things you're dealing with every single day. Maximizing your sales opportunity and your return on investment. That's what this is about. This is what your company is going to ask you about when you go to this event. And then why do I send you to these events? How you're going to do that to increase yourself is research, set target lists, which I talked about earlier, for those introductions. Make sure you're talking to those right people. Contact your NSC mentor. If you don't have one, you now have Jeff and I as your mentor. We are more than happy to help you at any time. Give us an email, give us a call. We are more than happy to have a conversation with you and give a little bit of information on our past and what may be able to help you. Contact your local affiliate. That's a really important one because contacting your local affiliate, they go to this all the time. They're going to be able to give you some advice. You'll be able to spend some time with those people while you're there. And then also you'll be able to attend that region meeting with them, which we'll talk about in a little bit, and the importance of that. And then this is going to give you the opportunity to look at all of those networking opportunities. There's tons of opportunities to be in front of people and to have conversations with people. The next is the participation volunteer. There are a lot of opportunities there. If you're a person that likes to give back and you want to be involved, there are those opportunities for you to participate. There is a function on Saturday of that week where you can be a volunteer. This was a topic that not everybody likes to discuss, but there is supplier etiquette. And so we always like to make sure that we address these things. As suppliers, we need to be above reproach and we need to hold ourselves accountable on how we act at these events and outside of these events. The Apartmentalize is a business professional environment. If you go to the NAA website, it actually talks about the appropriate attire or your own company and whatever the attire required by your company at these events. Another requirement of the NAA is when you're there is to stay in your booth. That way you get the opportunity to create sales and networking opportunities for your product or service or whatever it is that your company does. That is kind of an important aspect of this. We don't want empty booths. We want people in their booths. That's what we're there for. So let's just make sure that we remind our team that we need to stay in our booths. This one's kind of silly, but we're going to mention it anyway. I hope that you bring plenty of business cards because at this event, you're going to be around 10,000 of your closest friends in the industry, and you have no idea who you're going to meet and when you're going to meet them sometime. So always make sure that you have cards in case they want one. Also, remember the general sessions are going to be very important and very well attended. The committee meetings will be very well attended, and it's also an opportunity to network to see who's in that room and an opportunity to talk to them after that committee meeting. The Big Street Party on Thursday is fantastic in the Gaslamp District. If you've never been there, that is, in my opinion, probably one of the best cities to have that party. Those education sessions that we discussed earlier, check them out. I think the way they are laid out time-wise, all 3 of them, that is an incredible morning. And I hope that by the end of the 3 that you learn a lot. And then on that trade show floor, and always remember you're going to have the opportunity in your hotel lobby. So make sure you have those business cards. A little bit more. Now we're getting into those other etiquette issues. This one's kind of important. When you just don't interrupt other suppliers when they're having a discussion with someone. Always be sure that you walk up, get kind of an approval from that other supplier before you jump into that conversation regardless, because sometimes they may be in a conversation that they'll want to bring you in just because it is casual, but they may be having a business conversation. So I know that sounds kind of silly to have to tell someone that, but just remember that we're all, at the end of the day, the suppliers are all on the same team, and we need to respect each other, because your best introduction you're ever going to get to that person that you see them talking to is through them. Your fellow suppliers are going to be your best introduction. Business friendships, these are the key. You know, this environment's going to give you the opportunity to do that. So no reason to be aggressive. Just don't do that here. This is not that place for that, to be aggressive like that. This is building a relationship for an appointment opportunity later. We say aggressive and inappropriate behavior is frowned upon. It is frowned upon, but if you do that to another supplier, that supplier is probably going to come and talk to you about that. So you wouldn't want anyone to do that to you. So just make sure that you do the same for them. And remember, people in this industry, if you're not that familiar with the apartment housing industry, we say this, and people who are new to this industry think we are kidding. People in this industry do business with people they know, like, and trust. I tell people, I don't care how great your product or service is. If they don't know, like, or trust you, you're going to have a very difficult time even getting the opportunity to present it. So it's really important that you build that know, like, and trust, and that's going to turn into that opportunity to present, and then in turn into the opportunity to get them as a client. Earlier, I was talking about the region meetings and why you would want to use your local affiliate. Look on the map here, know where you live, see what your region is. Look to the right, it tells you what your state is. And then look on the calendar and see when your region meeting is. That's a really important event to go to, because your local region needs to see you involved as a supplier. They need to see you in that room. And by the way, that is going to be on Wednesday morning. So you'll have to look on the calendar to see where your region's meeting and what room. I do not know that now, but I know that it will tell you when you get there, and it'll be on that NAA app. So you'll know exactly where you need to be and exactly what time. I encourage you to attend your NAA region meetings. You'll find a lot of information sitting in that room, and maybe the opportunity to even network and get some new clients. Now we're going to talk a little bit about the NSC member benefits. One of them, priority booth, hotel selection. Any of you that are NSC members already know that you were able to capitalize on that. Also, access to the NAA member list, the NSC e-newsletter. If you are getting that e-newsletter, fantastic. If you are not getting that e-newsletter, probably when you were set up with the NSC, whoever that person was has themselves down as the main contact. If you want to get on that the newsletter, Mike Rosenthal, which we're going to pop that information back up here in just a little bit, we're going to give you a couple of email addresses. Shoot an email out. We'll make sure that you start getting that newsletter. That newsletter comes out every month. There's going to be a letter from Jeff Smedley, our chairman, but it's going to keep you up to date on things going on in the industry that we think are relevant from the suppliers. You're also going to have access to the NAA NSC LinkedIn page. If you are not a member, get on your LinkedIn, type in NAA space NSC. You'll see it pop up. Go in there and request to be a member. I will absolutely approve that. And you're going to find a lot of information coming through there also. Always trying our best to keep you up to date on upcoming events or anything that we think is relevant to the supplier world. The others, you get discounted NAA EI online education courses, like we were talking about the supplier success. And you'll also get opportunities for other things through Visto, which is our education source at NAA. Couple of others, discounts on the Apartment Careers website for posting jobs. If you guys are looking for people or you're looking for something, there's always an opportunity there. Apartmentalize provides 3 supplier education tracks to earn your CECs, and we went through what those classes were earlier. You get the opportunity to network with other NSC members. Like I said, your best introduction to someone is through a fellow supplier. You get exclusive NSC volunteer opportunities, so we're always keeping you up to date. We have region liaisons, we have committee liaisons, we have multiple committees and task force that we would love to have you be involved with. All you've got to do is raise your hand and ask, and we'll get you into those spots. Opportunity to network, but it's also an opportunity to give back. And then last but not least, the new thing that we've added is the new NSC booth that's going to be at Apartmentalize. This is a 20 by 20 booth. It's the first time it's ever happened. We have 4 areas inside of the booth. 2 of them are for private meetings for you. The other 2 are for you just to walk up and have a meeting at your leisure. This booth is for our membership. This is your place. This is your lounge to come take a break. We'll have water in there for you. You can come in and take a little break, take away from the floor for a little while. If you want to have a meeting, if you look on here, it says National Supplier Council at Gmail. Email that. Let me know the time that you want, that you're wanting to get set up. I'll shoot you an email back letting you know that that has been approved and that space, that time is available. You can bring a client and come sit in there versus talking to them in your booth. You can have a private table inside of the NSC booth and have that conversation with them. So remember, National Supplier Council at gmail.com to set up meetings. Here's your current NSC officers. Jeff Smedling is our chairman. Mary Walsh is your chairman-elect. Myself for membership. Angie Pusateri, which is now Angie Downey, my wife, is your education chairman. Jay Lopeman is our secretary, and our past chairman is Michelle Childers. These are our, go back one. These are our at-large, and we cannot do this without this group, so I want to make sure that we give them their props. It's a lot of work as a volunteer because we all have our jobs that pay us, and everyone that you've seen here is volunteering their time to do this, and this group of 5 have been spectacular. Steve Sorkin, he helps us set up our speakers. John Collins is with education. Joe Summers helps with membership. Russ Pingali is with PAC, and then Kathy Cook, philanthropy. So we want to thank you. We hope that you're excited. You've got Mike Rosenthal's contact information here. I hope that you wrote down mine and Jeff's. Feel free. Also remember National Supplier, National Supplier Council at gmail.com if you want to set up meetings, or if you just have a question, feel free to email that. We thank everyone. We look forward to seeing you in sunny San Diego in 3 weeks. Does anyone have...
Thank you, Kirk.
Oh, no, thank you. So like I said, for questions, if you'll email Mike Rosenthal, we'll be more than happy to answer any questions anyone has.
I appreciate it, Kirk. Thanks for your leadership and doing the presentation for us today, and I look forward to seeing everybody in just a few weeks in sunny San Diego.